I got a few more questions. I ain't going to take up so much of your time. It's just it's probably one of my.
You're fine, man. You're fine. I got time. Where are we going?
Good interview.
Where we going?
All right. So you kind of already answered that one. All right. So if you had a time machine and could travel back in time to see any musical tour, which artist tour would you pick to see?
What I pick to see?
Yeah, you have a time machine. You can go back any time and see any tour.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. I'd have to say two, and maybe it'd have to be two, because I would love to see a Motown tour, and I never got an opportunity to see Michael Jackson live. So I would have to see Michael Jackson. But I can't miss out on. I think a Motown tour. If I got an opportunity to see Motown tour, I think I'd have passed out. Like, you probably just been there singing all night until my legs got weak and just passed out or something from exhaustion from singing so much. But Motown and Michael Jackson. Like, I'm still feeling some kind of way that I never got a chance to see him perform live.
Yeah, I think mine would be the New Edition Heartbreak Tour, and probably the Jacksons, the Triumph Tour, when they were the Triumph Tour, not the Victory Tour, but probably the Triumph Tour, because I've seen videos, and just like the videos are bad quality, but just like the way that they come out on the stage, and I'm big into horns, and their horn section was something serious. Like, you had the horns like on the other side of the stage, like they had their own little like area where they could just cut loose every single night. So Heartbreak Tour and the Jacksons being in their prime. Being in their prime, yeah. I mean, I've seen, like you said, I've seen footage of the Jacksons, and I think that'd have been dope. And obviously, when I'm thinking Motown, I'm thinking that too, like that. Maybe that would have been a part of it, but I'm sure that wouldn't have been, because they were at that point they were big on their own, bigger on their own, but the outfits, the pyrotechnics, the dance sequences, the musicianship, I think it'd have been amazing, to see the Jacksons live. And I've seen New Edition. I didn't see them at the Heartbreak Tour, but I have seen them, on their Homecoming Tour, I believe it was, when they got home together. Tour. The Illustrated Tour, that was my first concert, February 25th, 1997 at USA Arena. Yes, I got a chance to see all six, before all the no, it was after the drama, because the whole drama thing happened in Mexico, and then my show was after that, and it's like, I always think back, like, you have no idea that they had that much animosity between them, because of the way they came out on stage and killed it. I mean, but they always say that it was like, I've seen numerous interviews with Mike, and Mike always says, man, if they had social media around, like, we were coming up, like, we would have a career. Like, that's much stuff they were into. Like, we would not have a career because we were doing some wild-ish, we were like 17 and 18 that we shouldn't have been doing. Like, social media would have definitely ended our careers.
So I'm thinking social media would have ended a lot of people's careers.
Oh yeah, definitely, because someone always has a camera, and someone's always there. But I mean, I think what I find though is what I find a lot of times is, I think we as consumers, we forget that you guys, you're an artist and you're in the public eye, but you're still men, you're still human beings. So we really don't have the right to really call you out on anything. I mean, you can, but it's like, you really shouldn't go out there and call somebody out, because, I think a lot of consumers think that some of these artists, they won't clap back at you. And they will.
They will. But I think as a consumer, you want your artist to be bigger than life. You want your artist to have a certain standard, and you put them on a pedestal, sometimes, a lot of times, greater than yourself, not realizing that, no, they're human, they make they're flawed, they what you see is the best of them because it's designed that way. But when you don't, when you see the flaws, or when the flaws are exposed, now it gives you a right to tell, oh, I see they're not better than me. Do something to make them, as a consumer, makes you feel good to see your idol fall for something. Like, they build you up to tear you down, and you're only as good as your last hit. Like, those things are real. For me as an artist, they were real, and which, did not make social media and has not made social media or media, fun for me, because I think, with the ushering in of talk show TV and debate TV and debate this and debate that and social, internet, Facebook and all that, everybody feels they're entitled to an opinion, and they feel like you should care about their opinion. So now, as opposed, you put your record out in the 90s, and you hear from, you don't hear from everybody about your project and every nuance of your project. You put a record out now, they critique every instrument you used, every vocal edit you use. Like, it's like, what? Like, can I just make music from my soul without being critiqued as if? And we've been conditioned to listen to perfection now. 70s, 80s, 90s, that wasn't the case. But since auto-tune and, how the mixes are and mastering, like, they can make everything sound perfect. So instinctively our ears are used to hearing things sound beyond perfect. And that's not the case. That's just editing.
Well, I can tell you as a critic, like, I generally try not to be so tough on, movies and musicians and singers and all that, because my motto generally is I can generally find at least one thing I like most of the time. So for me to give something lower than a C, when I'm doing reviews and rating stuff, it takes a lot. Bare minimum, you'll get at least a C, because you put work into it. It's a project. Now, if I know that you're capable of doing better, and I've seen you do better, and I can tell, it's like we were talking about earlier, it's like, you just put this out there, just because. It's like, all right, I'm definitely gonna, give you a bad grade, and sometimes, like, it's the risk that I run as a critic and as an entertainment reporter. Is, when you give these artists a bad grade, sometimes, they'll try to blackball you. And I'm like, I'm being honest. Like, I'm not going to gas you up and say it was, perfect when it wasn't, because I know what you're capable of. Like, I know that you can do much better than what you're selling out. And it's like, you're capable of better. Like, with going back to Usher, like, Usher's last project, that EP he did 2 years ago.
What producer?
Beethoven?
I can't remember his name. Yeah,
that got an F. I gave that an F, and I'm still like, I'm so afraid that if I ever get a chance to interview him and I bring that up, like, he might, like, get his feelings. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man, because I know what you're capable of, and it was some trash.
But you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, because a lot of, as an artist, he may know that already. He may know that wasn't his best, and he may have done that for Beethoven. He may, to help him get, more production credits or get his name out there a little bit, trying to, and, kind of similar, I don't want to say what Jay-Z did with Jay Electronica, but,
That's another story, though. That's a conversation for... That's another conversation for another day.
But me as an artist, to combat that, the criticisms or feeling, negatively critiqued, when if I don't get the best review, it's, if I know I did exactly what I wanted to do, I'm fine with that. If it's, because now it's a matter of opinion. But if I know there's some things on the record that I could have changed and I didn't change, or I didn't do my best, then it's going to needle me. But if I know I did my best and this is what I had to give and this is what I intentionally wanted to do, whatever the critiques are just somebody's opinion.
Oh yeah, like, but what I usually do is I usually I mean, my reviewing style, because I review music, I do movies, I do theater, I do concerts. I mean, with music though, how I generally do it is I'll get the album, because I'm still a buyer of physical media, so I'll buy the album, I'll put it in, and I'll just I'll ride to it, going to work or whatever, or at the house, and really digest it on the first listen. Then I go back and listen to it again before I do the review, so I don't have any hasty feelings. But that's your project. Right. That was quickest thing ever.
I'm not mad at you. I listened to that. I listened to it once, and I was good.
It's that grade too. All right, let's keep moving for it. One of the things missing in modern R&B, in my opinion, is the musical group. What's one thing you feel is missing in modern R&B?
I think it's coming back. I think that mood, that intention, that love, I think it's coming back. With artists like her, and Daniel Caesar and LMA and some of those artists in that box. I don't say box, but some of the artists, who do that style of music. I think they are really channeling, their elders, and they're channeling what I loved about music, especially her. Really channeling what I loved about 90s R&B, or just, and just music in general. So I think it's making its, a lot of those artists are doing their best to, bring that mood back, of what we knew R&B to be. I believe R&B got more into the rhythm and forgot about the blues.
Personal motto. Personal motto right there.
It became about the dance floor. It became more about hip hop and trendy, and it got away from the messaging, got away from the soul, and it sounded nice to the ears, but it didn't go any further than that. It didn't reach your heart. It didn't inspire, and that's one thing that I really, really, really miss, is turning on a record and being inspired to create a record that was similar to that, or just be inspired, period, to go into the studio and write something and create something. It's been years since an artist has come out that excited me and made me want to go create. And through the 80s, through the 90s, 70s, every song, that came on was like, oh man, I gotta do something. I gotta go in the studio. I gotta write. I gotta, make something happen.
Yeah, you had to bring your A game. I remember listening to an interview with I think it was Kevon Edmonds from After 7, and he was saying, I think it was him. It was After 7, Tony, and I think Portrait or somebody on. They were all on Arsenio together, and so they're like, we're backstage, and we're watching, and Tony's out here doing backflips on stage and switching instruments and all that. Like, we had to go back and change our stage show just so we can compete with, who came out before us. I mean, it's all love, but it's like you had to bring your A game. You couldn't do a bad show. And going back to what you were saying about, focusing on the rhythm, I mean, it's a true thing. It's like, they'd rather mainstream rather focus on a hot beat as opposed to the passion behind the music. And I mean, I get it. You got to pay the bills. You want to appeal to that mainstream crowd. But again, once you're already established, your fans will rock with you no matter what, and they're gonna come see you live, which is where all the money is anyway. So It's like, you shouldn't be a 45-year-old artist wearing skinny jeans, singing an auto-tune, trying to appeal to, again, to that 15, 16-year-old demographic. I mean, a prime example, and I hate to call him out, but a prime example is Tank. Tank is very, 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 very talented. But some of that later stuff, No, she shouldn't be.
Well, what I'll say about Tank. Tank was actually the first artist I ever opened up for. I love the heck out of Tank and his talent. I completely agree with you. I'm never a fan of, and it may be because it's my age and I'm getting older. But and most of the music that I listen to, my kids got to be able to listen to it with me.
Yep.
So certain albums, the Black Panty albums, R. Kelly, some of the stuff that Tank has done recently, I can't listen to it with my kids in the car. I say kids, my child. I have one son, but I can't listen to it with him in the car. And I tend to play stuff that he can actually listen to as well. And my mother as well. Like, I'm an adult. I don't want like 100 million cuss words. I always say, if the first word you say is a cuss word, I'm probably not going to listen to the album. If I put on your record, your album, and the first word of the first song is a cuss word, we're done. I probably won't listen to anything else, on that project.
Well, thankfully, artists like you are, we're staying true to you're staying true to your sound and staying true to the, you can still have the blues and you can have the rhythm. It's all in how you do it, though, and how you, how you're coming across. I mean, looking back on your first album, 2007, you were what, early 20s, mid 20s?
Yep, mid 20s.
First album. Yeah, but you still came across
26,
as
26, 27.
You still came across as a seasoned veteran. You were focusing on, to me, your instrument, which is your voice, and you probably could have easily flooded with rappers and EDM type sounds, and to try to get that commercial success, but instead you went the route of, I'm Bradd Marquis. I'm going to sing. This is what I do, and I'm going to stay true to myself, and not try to cater to, a different type of fan base. Because again, to me, it goes back to, if you can sing, like really, really sing, as a consumer, I'm coming to see you live, and for me, it's all about what you bring, with your live game, and artists like yourself, artists like Eric Roberson, artists like Dwelle, artists like Gordon Chambers, people that I've seen live in a more intimate venue. You guys slay some of these bigger tours that I've seen in big arenas, because you can tell you guys can actually sing. You can actually sing, and let's just say, God forbid, that you had a big stage show with elaborate props and special effects and smoke and mirrors and all that, and the tour bus, for whatever reason, is held up, and you guys, can't have your props. You're sure to come out there and give an A1 performance and kill it without all the spectacles of lights and special effects and smoke and that's not what, to me that's not what live game is about. It's about that voice and how you bring out that voice in any situation. All right, let's move on. We're almost done. Just
I appreciate it, and I really want to say I appreciate you appreciating Finding My Way. That album is near and dear to me, and the fact that it's still resonating, with people now, that's huge. That's huge to me.
Man, yeah, it's a classic album that it still holds up, because we as, again, going back to singing from experience, we as men, for you to be able to write about a failed engagement and put that out there like that, that in itself has so many avenues that you could have taken that. You could have easily did a one-man show just off that album, with your musical theater background. You could have easily done something with Ava DuVernay, a film project with each song, serving as a short over a failed relationship. Yeah, because it's true. It's not commercial. It's a true album. And after all right, so if an aspiring songwriter were to approach you for tips what are 3 albums you recommend they listen to about song structure, bridges, and harmony?
I would say three albums. What's Going On, Marvin Gaye. I might have to go with Thriller, Michael Jackson. And probably either Love Letter or Write Me Back, R. Kelly. One of those two.
Yeah, despite his personal stuff, it's yeah. I think it's conversation, but yeah. No, he's another one that's like, we really didn't, and it's sad, but it's like we probably won't ever get to see the best of what he could actually do, because his demons and his personal issues, but
right.
Yeah,
right. He robbed us of his greatness. He robbed us.
Yeah.
He didn't allow us. I always say, he's my favorite. I don't hate to say it. I'm out. As from an artist to artist perspective, he's probably my favorite artist. But he robbed us of the ability to celebrate him and his greatness because of his demons.
Yeah,
and
Love Letter
and
and Write Me Back.
he'll.
Yeah, and Love Letter and Write Me Back are where the route that he should have gone, and the route that he should have been.
He should have stayed there. He went to Black Panties, and I was like, why, dude? You just won us back over. Those two albums, we were forgetting about your transgressions, and then you come with Black Panties, and you just took us right back.
Yeah, and it's a shame that all that talent went to him. Personally, I have listened to R. Kelly since about 2014, and it's when everything really started to come out, it got to the point where like it was too much for my soul, like you were saying earlier, and then actually going back and like listening to some of the lyrics and everything, I'm like, man, it was always out there. It was just the groove was so infectious, that rhythm was so strong. You ignored everything that this guy was talking about, and he was blatantly telling us, who he was, and it's like,
right.
You try not to judge, and you try to separate the I always tell folks, I was that guy, before I got married, before I had a child, that it don't matter, man. It's not my daughter. Who cares what R. Kelly does? Just keep giving us those hits. And I was wrong for that, and I can say now, approaching the age of 40, that I was wrong for that. But I should have counted him a long time ago. But that rhythm was so strong, man. You kept on stepping in the name of love, and
right. But a lot of those albums, those two specifically, Chocolate Factory was dope, but he was still toggling back and forth on Chocolate Factory. But with Love Letter and Write Me Back, I think he was a master of his craft in those two projects. He had a complete command of, his vocals, his writing, the music that he wanted. Obviously he did, a lot of interpretations from Michael Jackson and Barry White and, from Teddy P. Like, he had a lot of influences, but we all do. But the way he interpreted it was just amazing. Even Sam Cooke, he interpreted some of Sam Cooke's, production of music on there, but it was, I just thought he was at the top of his game on those two projects, and had he, chose to clean up his world and move in that direction, maybe we could have been able to celebrate him on some levels. But, I just try and appreciate what he, as an artist, I can still appreciate it. The only time I listen to him is if it comes up on, shuffle, but I can't in good conscience sit there and just listen.
Yeah, and that's how I am. I mean, that's how I am. Like, I just I've gotten a bit better. I mean, initially after the whole doc thing, I would if it came on the radio, like I would change the station. I purposely went through my my iTunes, and I just typed in his name, and anything that he's done, you know, I took it off my iPod,
deleted it, right.
just so I wouldn't have that, you know, that have to listen to it. And it's like, you know, it was so much great. Even songs he written for people, like, you know, so much time.
Yeah, songs he written for other people. Like he wrote a song for Marvin Sapp right before all this stuff kind of blew up. You know, like,
and I had to get rid of it all.
Like, you know, you gotta, you know, it is like that. You know, as far as, like, it's funny because I have a interesting story about. I met R. Kelly once. He actually came to one of my performances, and he gave me a standing ovation. You know, shook my hand, and he gave me a standing ovation, walked to the stage, shook my hand, and was like, "Yo, your song Radio was a hit. It's a smash hit." You know, and he wanted to work with me, but he wanted to meet me. I went, you know, got off the stage and went and sat down in the audience and watched other performers, and then people ran up to me after the fact and was like, "Yo, R. Kelly wants to meet you. He wants to meet you," and I could not get up out of that seat to go meet him. My whole being froze. And now I know that was God telling me no.
Yeah.
God told me, no, this is not going to happen. And I thought it was, you know, just fright or whatever. I don't know what you call it. You know, starstruck, whatever is what I interpreted at the time. You know, because people, he wants to meet you, come backstage and come meet R. Kelly. I did not get up out of that chair to go meet him. I stayed there. And he was my favorite artist at the time, and I didn't go meet him. But now I know that was God telling me, no, this is not going to happen. I can't have that.
Yeah, Mike Bibb said the same thing on it. He was on a press tour for BBD's last album. The same thing you were saying. He was like, you know, man, he wrote a monster for us. Like, it would have been like, you know, up there with Poison. And it's like, for whatever reason, he was just like, for whatever reason, something happened with the label politics. You know, they didn't record the song, but he was like, that was the sign saying, you know, we didn't go down that route, because everything that, you know, transpired, like when stuff really came out, it really came out, and, you know, that might have affected us trying to, you know, do our thing long term.
Right. And who knows, you know, this is earlier in my career, so who knows what type of influence he could have had on my career, on me at that time. You know, I was never that dude, but you get around those environments and those people and you see all this stuff happening, you know, it's like God said no, not for you.
And you can't question God.
No.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and tie this up, but where can your fans find you on social media?
Everywhere, just Bradd Marquis, BRADD, MARQUIS. And you can find that, you know, all the social media platforms, and anywhere there's music, you put that name in there, and my stuff will come up.
And is there anything you'd like to add?
No, hopefully they just like the new single and stick around for the next iteration of my career, and hopefully, you know, we can heal, we can provide love and inspire, and, you know, we can and get on that stage and you know, share those messages.
All right. Well, once again, folks, this has been Derek Dunn with Reviews&Dunn.net. I had the pristine pleasure of having a conversation with the uberly talented singer-songwriter, Sam Cooke, impressionist, Mr. Bradd Marquis. I hope you folks check out his new stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but you said that your new single will be released on all streaming platforms this coming Friday.
This coming Friday, No War. It's called No War. And be released everywhere there's music.
On Friday, go ahead and check it out. And as we were saying in our interview, it's about the blues, the R&B, not just the rhythm. So check out Bradd's new single, and look forward to our interview. I look forward to your album, sir, and thank you for taking time to speak with me.
Oh, man, thank you for a great conversation, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, sir. Be blessed, brother.
All right. Go.
Bye-bye.